What is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Tuesday, and we have ourselves Summon Rush Part 2 to talk about here today, as well as, I guess, as of recording, I think Raya's Madness Tournament has also officially started to get yourself that free Prism Shard. It's at 3,500 points. Now, this is for level 100. Let me know how much it is for you, because I am account level 100 most recently, which means I get kind of screwed a little bit when it comes to these tournament milestones, and I have to pay the price in order to get there. That being said, I think it's still worth it because the characters that are up for grabs are pretty nice. But I want to talk about the differences about the Summon Rush 2 that we have today, and also the upcoming Champion Chase on Friday, and what I think that the point variances might be for those, because some people are wondering, well, should I do Summon Rush 2 or should I do Champion Chase? Because you're going to have to do it, well, unless you're doing the full epic on Champion Chase, in which case you can ignore what I'm saying here. But if you're thinking about the rare from either this one or Champion Chase, and you would have had to do also Summon Rush 1, right? Or Summon Rush 2 plus Champion Chase, like you need to get 2 of these rares unless you're going all in on those epics. We're going to talk about the differences, though, and what might be worthwhile. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get the legendary Orc Artak, and also you can get Varric the Fat, Fenix, and Cryodan the Blue at level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget about Pelops the Victor, the legendary from the Argonauts faction, and all you got to do is use the promo code RAID7 in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so I want to talk about this here. This is from Pelops the Victor, actually. He was the last traditional fusion event in March, and 3,500 points for Champion Chase was what you would have to do to get the rare. Now, I want to keep this in mind, right? Keep this number in mind if we can, when we think about what we're going to have when it comes to the Champion Chase on Friday, if you will. Now, you will at a bare minimum have 3 of these epics to fuse up during that. Not 4. And the reason why I say that is because you might need that rare from the Champion Chase in order to make that 4th epic. So you would need to get the rare before you fuse the 4th epic. So really what you can rely on is the 750 points from this. And then you'll also be able to rely on anything that you have, obviously, from your summon pool. The summon pool, yes. So if you get the free-to-play Prism Shard, that could be potentially another 250 points at a bare minimum, or 500 if you're lucky. So let's just say 1,000. And then if you have any Remnant summons, this is obviously an immediate epic. So if you have any of this saved, that's good for you. And obviously anything in the Fragment summons that you still have as well, right? Fragment, Fusion, Legendaries. So for me, I'm thinking like bare minimum 1,000. Now, depending on, I heard there's a way that you can like basically stop this from claiming the character, and you could hold this until Friday. I actually don't know how you do that exactly. So that would be an additional 500 points there, potentially. Now, for a Champion Chase, the way that the points are is that an epic is 2,500 and a legendary is 500. If you use voids, I believe it's 350 for an epic, and I want to say 650 for a void legendary, something like that, right? So my point is that you would need to, if you're going to be doing something like this, if this is our expectation that a bare minimum you could be getting 3,500 points, you're going to need to make up another 2,500. And that is going to be about approximately, without any mercies and things like that, that would be 10 Sacred Shards. Okay. Now, the points that we need for the Summon Rush to today is going to be 7. So you are going to be doing it, even with all the other fusions in mind, cheaper than you would on the Champion Chase, assuming that it's 3,500. I actually think that it could be higher. And if you're trying to go for that epic, this very well could be higher as well. We don't know. Like it could be like 6,000 for the epic. And so Champion Chase rewards Void Shards. And I don't have many of this at all anymore. I blew it on the last 2x Void Shards, and I don't think that there is going to be a 2x Void Shard for Friday. If anything, it's probably going to be a 2x Sacred Shard. But one thing that I want to point out, though, is 2x's on Sacred Shards isn't actually that great. We're going from a 6% to a 12% chance for a legendary. But you're already getting a bare minimum of an epic. The Void 2Xs are better because you're getting a 16% chance of an epic, of Void epics, right? And the points for Champion Chase start stacking up pretty quickly because you get more for Voids anyways in Champion Chase. So the best situation for that is a 2X Void Champion Chase, but I don't think that's what we're going to get. All this is to say is that it is probably going to be cheaper for you to do the Summon Rush 2, still, unless you got shitloads of other stuff. Summon Pool, Revenant Summons, etc., etc. So I am still going to be doing, begrudgingly so, I'm going to be doing this Summon Rush for another 7. I am not going to be going to my Mercy this time around. All in all, it was the same points as Summon Rush 1. Now, that's 14 Sacred Shards for this fusion event to get those 2 rares. That is expensive. And I think for just the bare minimum on the rares, 14 Sacreds is basically what I would have paid for an epic in a traditional Summon Rush. Usually Summon Rush 1 is where you would be rewarded that epic. But now they're putting it in the Champion Chase. And I feel that the 14 Sacreds that I would have had to spend for this fusion, for this Summoning Fusion event, I think is just higher than what I remember to be previously. Now, let's just go back to this one more time, right? 3,500. 14 Sacreds would get you a total of 3,500 points, actually. Right? So had I waited, but those 14 Sacreds also would not be enough to get me to that epic had I waited. Even if we chucked on the extra 750 points, right? That would still be 4,250. And then we would have to, I mean, maybe the free-to-play shard, the Prism shard, maybe get you to 4,500. But I think that you're still going to be having to go up to like 6K at this point for the... obviously, I don't know, 100%. But I think that Champion Chase is going to be expensive. And so I'd rather just kind of do this Summon Rush 2 and be done with it. And know for sure that I'm finishing this fusion event rather than guessing and being unsure and maybe coming up short on Friday because I'm not able to clear it. I hope some of that made sense. That's what I'm going to be doing. Let me know what you plan to be doing. Now, I will be in the background later on, be farming the Raya's Madness tournament. But for this, I do think that day 1, like today, has some of the best characters. They're very powerful. Sylvan Watchers today, Barbarians tomorrow. Yes, I know that we're probably all tired about Sylvan Watchers because of the Chaos, the Web of Corruption event. But there are some of the better champions that are in this right now. First of all, we have Feral the Barkhorn. Feral the Barkhorn is an S-class support. I've had him for a long time. I still use him, and I think he's an absolute amazing character. He's got a 60 do not discount resistance. 60 resistance aura, but he also has a 50% increased resistance buff for 3 turns. Perfect Veil. All this stuff is amazing for Hydra on a cooldown of 4. His passive, plus 50 resistance, plus 50 accuracy, and 20% extra ally damage when they all have buffs. It's really amazing. Block buffs and decrease accuracy. So the combo of decreased accuracy and increased resistance on your side is just tremendous. It makes the thresholds so much easier for what you need to have for your resistances because you're already lowering their accuracy and you're even increasing your own. Plus all this extra resist, it's like 50 plus the 60, it's like 110. It's absolutely insane. He also has a speed down on his A1 for things like Chimera and whatnot. Secondly, if you this is what I would do, but I already have him, is Vestel. Vestel Riverthorn, absolute amazing nuker of the magic affinity. This is kind of important when you get more endgame because you know, just because you have a nuker doesn't mean you have one necessarily a strong one in that particular affinity. Boy, I've run into her in live arena and she like kicked my ass, but she's a really strong nuker anyways. Specifically, this attacks all enemies before attacking, places the weakened debuff first, cannot be resisted, whose attack is equal to or lower than this champion. So if you have a really high attack on Vestel, she's going to be doing this and it cannot be resisted, and it ignores 25% defense AoE. An extra hit whose attack is equal to, or so you want to make sure that when you build her, that her attack stat is pretty high. Unkillable and counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then she's got some pretty other cool stuff. 50% chance to deal 100% more damage against enemies who attack is equal to, or like, so this can nuke hard. And she receives 30% less damage. So she's all about having a higher attack rating than anyone else on the opposing team. This is really crazy. She gives a shatter buff, ignores block damage and stone skin buffs. Like, this stuff hits hard. grants an extra turn if this kills an enemy. Like, she's a lot of fun. So she's going to be my progressive chance. There are some okay other ones. King Galkabar got a recent rework. He's okay. But frankly, he's just not... He's okay, but he's not on the level of... It's pretty good, actually. But he's not on the level of Vestel. And also Feral is very powerful, too. Kaelite, the Ash Arrow, he's a pretty strong nuker, actually. But again, if I had to pick between him and Vestel, who are both magic-based, it's going to be Vestel. I hate that the game is taunting me when it comes to End of Moonbeam. This was my very last Lady Mikage fusion, and they're still, time after time, they are taunting me with this character. But I honestly don't really know. I think I don't have Cryodan in the Blue at +4, and I would recommend doing this for people who do not have Cryodan in the Blue. He is absolutely amazing. Speaking of that, because he's in my promo link. But as far as support champions go, and a really great wave controller, and also for Fire Knight hard mode, this character is amazing. So we're going to be doing this. I'm not near my Mercy, right? I pulled my Mercy on last Summon Rush, so I'm pretty sure I'm at 0, just to double check, and we are. So I'm going to be pulling just 7, just to clear the Summon Rush, and that's going to bring me from 30 to 23. I'm not going to have so much for any path events or anything like that, so gotta hope that there's a bit of a gap in between things for next month. So anyways, we're going to do this. We're going to do 7 Sacreds, see if we get lucky. Maybe we will. You never know, right? We get a purple Shatterbones. Times 20 for Cryodan. We get a Sacred Shard number 2. Alf the Rancid. I actually started upgrading. He's for me, he's niche now. Right? He does a +1 duration of ally buffs. That's nice. And he's also really good against like Nether Spider if you still need it, because receive 50% less damage from poisons. Sacred Shard number 3 coming in here, and we have Cryodan in the Blue, so that's good, because I think that'll give. I think I'm at +1 only. I haven't pulled so many of them in my game's lifetime, but he is a really great support champion. Honestly, you're gonna get his wave control with that AoE freeze. Also has a great speed up and turn meter fill. Just really good support character. Really like Cryodan in the Blue. Okay, Sacred Shard number 4, another purple, and who's Occult Brawler? I forgot what these guys. Some of these guys look like. Let's back out just in case. Sacred Shard number 5. Did we get any yellow? No, we don't. Lady Quillen, a Lady Mikage epic fusion. So there you go. I have lots of her, and at this point, I could probably have fused up another 2 Lady Mikages with the amount of epics from her fusion that I pulled. Number 6, we have this. Did we not just pull this dude? Shatterbones. And for the final Sacred Shard, we have for number 7, no legendary, but that's okay. Oh, Rector Drath, actually a pretty good epic summon. Sorry, epic healer is what I meant to say. Right, Perfect Veil, Continuous Heal, and a Revive. Also in the Apprentice Pass, if you first start your account. So that is my 7 Sacred Shards, where I did not get a legendary character, but that's okay. That is still going to get me all that I need up to the rare, and I'm calling it quits from there. Now, unfortunately, yes, this fusion basically has costed me 14 Sacred Shards. It feels like that's a little bit more than usual when it comes to summoning events, but it is what it is. I am curious to know, guys, based on you see the points of Summon Rush 2, which is 3,500, plus the 3,500 from Summon Rush 1, are you guys doing this one, or are you guys waiting for Champion Chase to go all in there? I do want to remind people one more time that we don't know what the epic is going to cost you, right? The rares could be around this 3,500 mark that it was for Pelops, but the epic, since we haven't seen that, I can't remember, since I've been playing, I haven't seen an epic in Champion Chase. How much is that going to cost? Some people think 5,000, but honestly, I'm starting to think it's going to be about 6,000. We'll see on Friday, but I'd rather not leave things to chance. That's just how I feel. Anyways, before I go, I do want to remind people that you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Artak, the legendary Orc Artak, and also Farrakhan the Fat, Fenix, and Cryodan the Blue. Hey, speaking of Cryodan, at level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget about Pelops the Victor, the legendary from the Argonized Champion. Use the promo code RAID7 in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.